welcome to another Geno3 podcast with your host Andy. And in this episode, we are joined again by Jenny, one of our co-founders. How are you, Jenny?
I am very well. I'm a little fatigued because it's a Friday, end of
Mm-hmm.
day.
End of the week.
It's been a long, busy juggling week with
Mm-hmm.
lots of things happening this week in different parts of life. So, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to tonight's chat.
Yeah, good.
Um, it's kind of like a bit of a retrospect and then what's happening and what does the future look like, which
Yeah,
is always a
excellent.
nice, it's always a nice kind of, it's always a nice opportunity when you get those to kind of pause and reflect and then look
Mm-hmm.
forward.
No,
How are
absolutely.
you
And I think,
doing?
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just enjoying my sort of new work flow arrangement now with the sort of temporary part time for a year now, so I'm getting a good
Yeah,
work life balance at the moment. So,
love it.
still lots of plates to spin when I'm in, but and probably much like yourself. But yeah, definitely getting a bit of the kind of work life balance back, which is only a good thing for health. So,
Yeah, so important.
um, so this week we are really kind of looking at, as you said, a bit of a kind of reflective piece, a bit of a pod regarding, I suppose, the Geno3 journey up into kind of where we are at the moment. So what we're really going to look to cover is all the sort of pre-launch of the business, the kind of soft launch aspect of things, a bit of kind of reflection, looking back at sort of significant turning points, maybe some challenges along the way, how the business is evolving, some of the rewarding milestones through the process, looking a bit at how the team has been getting on and performing, but also thinking then ahead, looking at the future, maybe some of the good things to come. So, um, we're going to kick things off, I suppose, with a little bit of information maybe from you on that kind of process, really, of up until that soft launch. What was all the stuff that was having to happen before, and talk our sort of listeners through a bit of that process, because there's a huge amount that happens before any business launches, and quite often people are not aware of that. So.
No, and there's like we've got lots of photos we can share, across our platforms and about the early days, and I would still say we're probably still there at this point in time. So we
Hmm.
had we founded legally last summer, like June, July time. We had a lot of planning and stuff to do, um, arranging getting the kits and things over from the US. And then
Hmm.
part of our service and support for our clients is once their DNA report comes in, it's really complicated. It's full of code,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
you know, all the founders did training to allow us to simplify that information for our clients and make it really practical. And but we didn't want to just tell people this is your gene thing and this is what it means. We wanted to be able to
Hmm.
help be the bridge between the information that they've got and how do they practically apply it and why. Because
Yeah.
when people understand the why, they're much more likely to be able to do it, to make the changes in
Hmm.
the future because they connect it to something.
Yeah.
So we spent like 6, 7 months writing all the content and creating all the diagrams and the content and the visuals and
Hmm.
breaking that massive complicated report down into 15 health chapters and
Yeah.
making sure that each of them was informative, easy to understand for a lay person, but also fun and had some analogies and had some great
Yeah.
advice. And then also, how did we, it's very overwhelming if you get all this information. So we ended up creating some extra parts
Hmm.
that that help people understand very quickly what what's the top 5 or 10 things I could do
Yeah.
if I did nothing else, but I only did these things. It would completely change my health trajectory.
Hmm.
So we had all of that stuff. We had the website to build. The like websites is the bane of my life, but I was the only founder who had any experience in that. So we
Yeah.
had
So
the
you took ownership over that. Yeah.
website. Yeah, we had to sort out all the boxes. We have leaflets designed, sourced all the envelopes, the Royal
Hmm.
Mail postage out where there was no timelines for return packages, um, postcards that we put in the boxes,
Hmm.
um, just the shipping process, building the boxes. I
Yeah.
remember there was one night you and Kirsty were getting
Oh, we were
stuck
just
into
banging out building
building them.
boxes. Like we were just going crazy with it. But that's
And
it. I mean, as you say,
you had a big wall between you of boxes
well,
day
that's
by the
it. I
end of the
know.
night.
It's like that
Andy's
fort
like,
that Chandler and Joey made in Friends.
so there's
Um,
just
yeah.
so much goes into it behind the scenes. And
Hmm.
that was just up till May where we quietly launched to our waiting list of people who had heard quietly that we were doing this. We didn't publicly tell a lot of people because
Hmm.
everyone that we told were super keen, and we quite frankly couldn't take the pressure because we wanted to do it properly.
Absolutely, yeah. You
So
want
that
you
was
want to have that
everything
kind
up
of
to me.
quality of that
Yeah.
service, and I think as you say, it can be quite overwhelming when people do get that information and they want to just dive into it and read everything and go through. I mean, I know from my own perspective, it's like, oh, that's great. I've got my report. I want to get into all these chapters. I want to read them all and I want to kind of read them all now. And it's like, whoa, put the brakes on a little bit. Like, what are the kind of key things, as you say, those five things maybe that are the kind of priorities? What are some of the things you can start with? And then over time, start to kind of
Yeah.
go more into the report, start to pick out some other things because it can be too much too soon,
Yeah.
and you kind of then it might set you back a little bit. So yeah, just take it steady, and the
Mm-hmm.
information's there when you've got it,
Yeah.
and you can affect that change as well. So I suppose looking back, what were some of the biggest turning points then? Would you say for Geno 3 so far?
I think the some big milestones we had when we finally completed all the health chapters. That was a massive, mammoth task, probably the
Hmm.
biggest thing. And it took all of us to do it, to get it to the quality of what we wanted.
Hmm.
And that's the foundation that everything sits on. So in the future, which we can talk about later, the technology and how the information is going to be presented is going to be slightly different, but
Hmm.
it's all base there. It's a base foundation stone, which everything that we've done can now be built upon
Yeah.
and just even more personalized as we tap into some new technology. So that was a biggie. A big turning point for us was figuring out what how do we work out what are people's top 10 things.
Hmm.
And there's some other resources that we include, like we look at people's nutrient profile and what foods are high in those nutrients, and we combine the two and we give people their top 15 superfoods
Yeah.
in one page. One of our clients calls it his superhero foods.
Hmm.
And so that quick start guide with the 10 top 10 things or top 12 things and then a shopping list, that was a big turning point for us because that
Hmm.
helped. The biggest thing we'd heard from our small pilot list of customers or clients was it was very overwhelming.
Hmm.
And those two things completely changed it for everybody. And
Yeah.
people can always come back to that. And
Hmm.
then once they've done those things, the top 10, and they've really dialed them in, they can just pick a chapter at a time and pick one thing. So
Yeah.
that was a big turning point. And we also had an assessment tool that was built in house that helps us work out things very quickly in terms of recommended diet type and things, which is something that we give people also as part of their report.
Hmm.
Um, And we had some other stuff behind the scenes in terms of the founders. You know, we are a very unique family business.
Mm-hmm.
We are founded by three sisters,
Yeah.
and one of them lives on the other side of the world. And we don't get to spend an awful lot of time in her physical presence. So
Mm-hmm.
we had challenges with finding the right rhythm of communicating live.
Mm-hmm.
We've had challenges navigating how we run a business and maintain the sisterly bond outside of the company, but how do we start to run a business as founders, as business owners and entrepreneurs and co-founders?
Mm-hmm.
And we've gone through some quite tough weeks and months,
Mm-hmm.
but we made some decision, like we brought a chairperson in to support with some of our meetings.
Yeah.
That was a turning point for us as well, I think.
It's just
And
kind of
I
keeping, I
also
suppose,
think
that
bringing you
personal
on,
and
Andy,
professional bit. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I also think bringing in like you to support with the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's taken some pressure off the three of us, but it also brings another voice and another person who comes with a completely different set of skills and talent and experience. And
Mm-hmm.
that this pod is actually like blossomed way, not that I had any expectations, but
Mm-hmm.
when I listen to the episodes, I'm like, this was such a good thing to do. Andy's just a pro.
Oh no, very much an amateur. I would say, but no, I think it just gives another outlet as well to kind of share a lot of the story and the kind of the messages that people can kind of see beyond the website or that kind of information. And I think
Mm-hmm.
as you talked about making efficiencies, but not compromising the quality of what you're offering clients as well. So that will never be compromised. It's always something that you're just trying to find better ways of working. And I think as you
Yeah,
said, like the three of you, like this is a new thing. Like your sisters, you know each other incredibly well because you're siblings, but also you're treading along that line of that professional sort of business head on, but also you've kind of got the personal aspect of things as well. So you want to support each other as well and drive the business forward, and you got to sometimes there's always going to be sort of a bit of a bumpy road with that. And I think every business owner, even if they're not family members as well, is going to kind of find some bumps in the road, but that's just normal and natural to happen. And I think the good thing is that you've got a good support network around, and I think that allows you to kind of solve some of the maybe the sort of sticking points and things, and then and find a way forward. So yeah, I mean, I
mm,
think it's a really honest reflection as well, and I think our listeners will really kind of appreciate that because it gives a bit of a personalized story to it. It's not often you get to hear this type of conversation from a business. It always maybe seems so
no,
far away from you see a website or whatever, but okay. So I suppose you've alluded to some challenges there. Is there any that have kind of surprised you along the journey, things you didn't kind of see coming? And that could be positive, it doesn't necessarily need to be a tricky one to navigate a negative
yeah.
one.
I the One of the things that I didn't expect was how keen people were, to the point that they were like, there would be tight, like we had a waiting list, and people were like, when you lunch and when you lunch and when you lunch and I
Hmm.
was like, look, we're nearly there. Just
Yeah.
be patient.
Hmm.
You've lived without this for 55 years. Just give us another couple of weeks.
Hmm.
So I think it's been a really nice surprise to for people to hear about it and or hear some of the stories.
Hmm.
You know, my own personal story with my cancer diagnosis and my healing
Hmm.
in mum's. type 2 diabetes reversal. Some of the first clients that we've had have started sharing some of their success stories. So I met with one of our very first client, like
Hmm.
from the launch, from the
Okay.
day that
Yeah.
we launched, our very first client who bought from us through the website. I had a call with them yesterday, and they were like, "Oh my god, I feel amazing. I'm down a clothes size."
Hmm.
And they've been on holiday for 6 weeks, like
Wow.
abroad. And I was like, let's just catch up when you're back.
It's not often that happens when
Because
someone's away for so long and they come back and
no,
they've lost
no,
as well. Yeah.
but they were talking about how they were so proud of themselves that they had been eating out a lot when they were on holiday,
Hmm.
and the waiter or waitress would come and take their order, and they were like, right, so I want um I want poached eggs. I want smashed avocado with poached eggs, but I don't want it on sourdough bread. Can you give me a side of spinach and something
Hmm.
else? And the waiters were like, no, you can't do that. And he was like, I don't care. I can't eat that
Yeah.
because it doesn't agree with me. And I am taking my health seriously. And they came back and said they lost weight when they were on holiday,
Hmm.
because they were away. They were like the other side of the world visiting
Yeah.
family. So there's been, I think, the most surprising things for me has been the amount of people that have been super keen. We have a really high referral rate. I did
Hmm.
expect that, but
Yeah.
it's been nice for that to be validated. And then just starting to get some of the stories through is just warms my heart every day.
Just makes it very real though, doesn't it? And that's it. And you're thinking all of this really positive stuff because you know the science is there. Like there's no argument over it. It is that DNA aspect. There's things in there just aren't changeable. So it's about people being as informed as they can be to make
Yeah.
those positive choices. And those people who have done it, the people you're talking about now, are seeing a significant change and they're feeling
Yeah.
so much better for it. So it just shows that it is something which is a phenomenal resource to
Mm-hmm.
have, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
and a support to people. So I suppose that kind of leads nicely on to obviously you had kind of come up with the idea for the business. I suppose you kind of created a bit of a plan. I suppose I don't know what you call those boards that you have, imagination boards, or I
Oh,
can't
vision
remember what they're
board.
called. A vision board, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Which you probably had when you were kind of thinking up this idea for the business. So how has Geno3 evolved from the business that you kind of first imagined to kind of where it is today? And it's obviously still in its early stages, but
Yeah. So I think we the intention was always that we would have our health chapters. We would give our clients their quick start call to take them through it. So it was a
mhm,
personalized, it felt very personalized and very like a VIP experience, not just
yeah,
like, oh, your blood results have been uploaded automatically to your dashboard and we never talk to you.
mhm,
Allows us to have a conversation. And so that quick start call, it's not like tell, it's
mhm,
tell us about what's important to you and your health, and then
mhm,
we can take you through the main things in the report, but also tailor it to your health challenges. And then we help set some goals with people at the end so they can walk away with some intention. So that was always our intention. But I
mhm,
think where we are now, we have we've created these, the quick start guide, the superfoods list. Um, all the three founders are learning what their roles are going to be in the future, leading into their talents and strengths.
mhm,
And there's going to be so much amazing things to come,
yeah,
probably next year,
mhm,
from Kirsty, from a a very nurturing, continuing on that theme of how can I make foods and meals for my family that are big impact but
Yeah.
simple and tasty and not going to break the bank, but and will mean that people might not need to take these lots of supplements because they're getting the
Hmm.
nutrients through nourishing food. So that, like, that's a big chapter for Kirsty coming.
Hmm.
Lorna's got her exercise element and community spirit, at which she's going to help us grow the exercise element and the community online element. And then she's going to have her community in Australia. We'll
Hmm.
have ours across in the UK. So there's going to, I suspect at some point there will be like the Geno Health Club
Hmm.
with some community element to it. And we have just this week finished our big like back end stuff. So
Hmm.
all the reports that we've done up until this week, we've had to create manually, which took hours, Andy. Every
Be the bane of your
client,
life. Yeah.
it was so important, but so boring.
Yeah.
And we worked with a developer who's created our back end customer database and automations for our reports, which means once we've done everybody's initial assessment, the reports are generated instantly. So it means we can now support much more people
Hmm.
and not make mistakes, or have to quality check each other's work all the time.
Yeah.
Um, so I think where we are, I knew that we would set it up, we'd get feedback, we'd do everything manually, then we'd automate some stuff, and then we'd probably do a phase two and a phase three. So
Yeah.
all of that stuff's kind of ticking along nicely. I just wasn't sure what the details were, but I knew we would get there
Yeah.
as long as
It's
people were interested.
absolutely, and I think it's that kind of evolution of the business, and you kind of find better and more efficient ways to kind of save yourselves time, but still kind of get what you want out of that process. And it just, as you say, allows you to kind of do more
Yeah.
um, with that stuff. So
Well,
I
and
suppose,
and that's
yeah.
that's exactly what's going to happen. So up
Hmm.
until this week, we've all had to do in terms of create the reports and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now that we don't have to do that anymore,
Hmm.
like the time that we were spending on that, we're only going to have to spend maybe 15% of that time
Yeah.
doing the same work because we have systems behind the scenes that we've had built. That
Hmm.
time now can be used in the highest work that we can do as individuals and as a team
Hmm.
to create more, better, easier, simpler for our customers and grow the business so that we are able to impact more people individually, but their family,
Yeah.
and change the trajectory of their health life,
Hmm.
which
Which is
then
huge.
changes their whole life.
Yeah. It's massive. I mean, it has just so much potential. So suppose maybe thinking about from your own personal perspective, what's been the most rewarding milestone or breakthrough for you in this process so far?
Oh, I
It's a
think
big question, I know, but it's it's maybe hard to
I
pick one
think
specific thing, but
yeah, the I alluded to earlier, it's been it's been an adventure with myself and Kirsty and Lorna.
hmm.
And we're a close family,
Yeah.
but you always risk, if you're doing something like this, there's always a risk of there being fractures
Hmm.
or stuff happening. And I think the proudest moment or the proudest thing that I feel we've achieved so far, aside from our client stories, because they keep us going every day and we'll share more over the month, the
Hmm.
months ahead and months and years ahead. But I think the biggest achievement for me is that myself and Kirsty and Lorna were 14 months on. We have a business in the UK and Australia now that is functioning, that is ready to grow. And we have worked through the bumpy road of entrepreneurship together, and it has
Hmm.
not been easy.
No.
Every one of us have cried.
Yeah.
Every one of us at certain points have said, I want to quit, whether
Hmm.
it's been out loud or in our head. And
Yeah.
we would all say that. Um, we have had people spit in the dummy. We've had silent treatment. We've had like mum had to get involved.
She was being Switzerland.
She was being Linda Switzerland Davis.
Yeah.
Um,
Kofi Annan, just like
yeah,
you
totally.
know.
So, and it's we've had to have some hard chats, heart to hearts.
Hmm.
Um, and in fact, the day that we agreed to found the company, we met in yours and Kirsty's house when Lorna was in Australia, and we were doing like maybe it was the day after we were doing the business case or the business plan, um which we got a template off of like Government Gateway or something like that. We were writing the business plan and there was some quite like hard questions which clearly we hadn't thought about because we'd only been there the day before, like
Hmm.
taking the pictures with the £3. So we
Yeah,
all
that's
had it,
right.
we all have one share, and
Uh-huh.
we all brought £3 with us.
Hmm.
And Lorna kept one of her pounds and took one of Kirsty's and took one of mine. She took them home. And
Hmm.
Kirsty got the same and I got the same. And we all have £3, one from each sister, found
Hmm.
sister in our house. So that day that we did that, you took the pictures. We
Yeah.
had a heart to heart on the deck. And one of the founders was like in tears because they were so uh like they felt so much love and heart that we were embarking on this adventure together. And
Hmm.
we had to have we had a heart to heart again recently, albeit it was online.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that we've got where we are today and we're stronger as a business,
Hmm.
the future for the three of us individually, but as a collective, is very bright and exciting for each of us in our own special way. But we're also stronger as a family unit as a consequence of that.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing for me, aside from the client success stories.
Hmm. And it's huge because yeah, you're sisters, but you've never like ran a business together. So that's a whole completely different kettle of fish, really. And I think there was
Yeah.
always going to be, as you say, those moments where those ups and downs and just try to navigate and find your way through. But the concurrent theme throughout was that you had that support. And I think even when you needed some intervention, maybe, I suppose,
Yeah. We
from your
totally
mum,
did.
then that's something which kind of helped kind of smooth the waters a bit and then allowed people to kind of stop, take a breath, take a step back, let's reevaluate things. Okay, how are we going to get through? And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's really important for people to understand because yeah, I mean, as I say, you don't maybe get a quite a frank, open conversation around that sort of stuff from a lot of businesses because it just all happens behind closed doors within an
Yeah.
office or whatever,
Yeah.
and you have these powwow meetings and things to try and kind of work through and negotiate and things. So yeah, you're finding probably more out about yourselves individually as well, and yeah, you're probably the most experienced possibly, I suppose, from a business perspective, given your sort of career to date.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but each of you is bringing something different to the party, shall
Yeah.
we call it? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of skill, knowledge, and experience from across the board, which is really
Yeah.
good. Um,
Absolutely.
So if you could go back and give yourself some advice at the start of Geno 3, what do you think it would be?
Ask for help for me personally.
Okay.
Ask for help earlier. It's a strength to be able to do that. That's a personal thing for me that I've had to work on this year. And I think I would have liked to have celebrated the small milestones a bit more. It's easy, like we had so much to do that like I had this backlog of to-do list. It's taken me like a year to clear it. You know, Andy, for the first time this weekend by Sunday night, my to-do list of stuff that needed done foundationally for the business will be finished on Sunday.
That's crazy, yeah.
First time since last summer. And I just it's been I think sometimes like in a startup it there is an element of you just have to get your head down and work hard. But I think I have also learned if you ask for help or find talented people who can help you, and if you can afford to pay a little bit, then you can do that or do a deal with them. That would have helped that more. And I think, like I said, there's been some milestones that were really, really good, but because it was pedal to the metal,
Yeah,
they were
absolutely,
kind of
yeah.
just skipped over because it was like, right, website's done, let's get the next thing. So I'm having a big celebration on Sunday that the foundational to do
Well
list is
deserved one,
finished.
absolutely.
I'm going out for brunch,
Nice.
and then moving forward, there will be more space to
Yeah.
celebrate
Okay. And
our big
that,
and little wins.
absolutely, because I think it's just so much probably relentless heavy lifting, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose, to build, and particularly when you've got, if we're honest, quite a small team of people. Really, a
Yeah.
lot of businesses will take on and have have specialists that will come in and take on things from there, and maybe take some of that load away. But obviously, from your guys' perspective and through your individualized network of people that you know, yeah, I think a lot of that fell to you as well, really, because
Mm-hmm.
you have people in the know. You have those experts and things there. So,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. I mean, I think again, it's really important because you're given that kind of personal side of things as well. So, looking ahead, what excites you most about where Geno 3 is headed in the next few years? This is the big question.
So we have probably a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm heading out to the States
Mm-hmm.
in 3 weeks. I have an entrepreneurial day that
Yeah.
has an AI theme.
Okay.
So and that the entrepreneurial group that I'm in, AI has been a big topic for us all year. And I've been like, and I know what we need to do, like
Mm-hmm.
super high level. And I've been like, every time I've sat in with the entrepreneurial community in our webinars, I've had a couple of live events with them in person. I have been gathering information and filtering what will be right for our clients and our
Yeah.
business and how do we keep data safe. But I've been quietly gathering and assessing and building out the picture, but not getting too sucked in because the foundation stones needed to be in place first.
Yeah.
And things needed to be phased correctly so that
Mm-hmm.
when we do it, it's done right and it protects everybody and it takes it not just from being really good to better, but a mate like world class, like life changing in an
Mm-hmm.
instant. And so I have this trip in 3 weeks. Part of the trip's AI entrepreneurial day. Part of the trip is a 2 day metabolic health conference with a couple of hundred other community members. It's a new community that I'm in, but it
Mm-hmm.
very much aligns with our health view. And our lab partners who have
Mm-hmm.
the tests, who designed them, launched them 10 years ago in the
Yeah.
US, they're going to be there. So it's
Yeah.
going to be the first time we're going to get to meet in
Face to
person,
face. Yeah, that'd be
face to
good.
face. And that event is a bit of a meet the founders, meet more of the community, and start to create a joint venture community
Mm-hmm.
of people that we can partner with. And so when we come home, um, Lorna, Kirsty, and I will write the next phase of Geno3 in
Okay.
terms of our vision, which I think will probably be the rest of this year and
Mm-hmm.
into probably the first half of next year.
Yeah.
And while we're writing that and building it out, we'll just be looking to scale and grow the business out in a way that doesn't break us because
Mm-hmm.
we're still a small
It's a
team.
little bit balanced, yeah.
Yeah, so we need to grow. Like, we don't want to grow too fast because we don't. We have to, like, the business. It kind of it's just like a kid that's growing.
Mm-hmm.
If they grow too fast, they get pain.
Yeah.
They get growing pains. So
Mm-hmm.
we need to grow and scale so we can impact more people and more lives, more families. But it can't be too fast because
Yeah.
because it's just a baby, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't want it to be painful. So there's a bit of grow steadily. Partly we can control and partly we can. We just need to see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
We will have the vision for the future, which is going to be a new online dashboard. So we're going to move away from PDF chapters, which we have just now, into an online
Mm-hmm.
dashboard. Where there's going to be some AI behind the scenes, which will really support people in drilling down to what is the one thing I
Mm-hmm.
can do this week based on my whole report,
Yeah.
based on my life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they'll be able to, we'll be able to find out, like, tell us about your life, tell us how busy you are, what are your priorities, what are your challenges,
Mm-hmm.
what are your goals, and take that information and your report and and build a plan for you, but drip feed it to you in a way that you want,
Yeah.
that's
Really
very
tailored and bespoke, isn't
personalized.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of some of the things. And like, as I mentioned, I alluded to the community, the 2-day event I'm going to. We're going to be expanding out with partnerships with clinics, with
Mm-hmm.
other health practitioners, and running group coaching programs with them. So we have a partnership in Glasgow that's going to be set up later this year. Excuse me, later this year,
Mm-hmm.
with Charlene for her community. So we're going to be doing a health challenge with them, which includes their health report and
Mm-hmm.
a coaching program. We're going to be doing one in Oz, and then just building out our partner list, so that if we have other personal trainers, or I have a medical herbalist that we work with,
Mm-hmm.
who sometimes refer clients that when they get the reports back, they give the report to her, which helps her provide even
Okay.
more tailored plant medicine advice. So
Mm-hmm. There's a
the
huge amount of stuff there, isn't there? A huge
yeah,
variety and
loads.
potential. And I think that's the exciting part of it as well, is that you've all got that to come to, someone to kind of look forward to as well, and see what that brings, which is further evolution to the business, and
Yeah,
yeah,
plenty.
making it hugely successful. So
Yeah,
that's the ultimate goal.
all exciting, and
Hmm.
and not with the foundation stones and, like, a lot of the heavy lifting's done.
Yeah.
So now it's about supporting our community, the clients that we have already, our new clients, expanding our reach,
Hmm.
building strong relationships with partners, and bringing in new technology. But I have experts who will help us do that.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
Hmm.
It's not like, you know, a piece of technology where nobody sees it
Hmm.
and it just sits behind the scenes.
Yeah.
This is like front and center. Is
Hmm.
the shiny bits that's really going to make the experience wow factor for everybody.
Absolutely. And I think
So
that's
exciting.
a really positive point to end this pod on then, because
Mm.
all these exciting things to come. So I just want to again thank you for your time. Thank you for your kind of honest appraisal, really, of Geno 3 up until this point, and I'm sure our listeners will have much more of a deeper insight into kind of how it's come to pass, where Geno 3 has been developed to launch, and then all the kind of things in between. So, exciting future ahead, and we will absolutely be having you back on, I'm sure, numerous times in the future on these pods,
Mm.
along with some other kind of keynote people. So, thank you very much for your time, Jenny, and it was great catching up again.
Thanks, Andy. It's been a really good conversation, really great questions as well. So look forward to talking to you again soon.
Excellent. So listen out for this pod to be released fairly soon. Thanks, guys.